We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks. You see, KYJ, things have changed just a little bit since the last time you were here.
I think you should see your oculus. Nothing wrong with my feet. No, I'm talking about your eyes.
I can even make my ass do tricks. Watch this. You have any idea where you are? You're in the jungle, baby. This is WCW. That's right. Hold on.
For over 10 years, the world's #1 source for professional wrestling news and information. And once again, here's your hosts, Damian Nelson, Frank Cosentino, and the man they call Meathead. This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN.
We're live Monday night, April 19, 2010, and what a night. What a night it is going to be here on the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN. We are not, I repeat, we are not surrounded by volcanic ash right now like the Raw Superstars, but we are surrounded in gloating by the man named David Hero. So, we are live, as I said, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. TNA Lockdown last night on pay-per-view. WWE SmackDown is Raw tonight on the USA Network, and TNA Impact on Spike TV. And so much hot news, the envelope that usually contains the hot news is it is ripped. It is torn.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that we got so much hot news and we're not surrounded by volcanic ash. It is so hot, it could become volcanic ash. That's how hot it is.
Damian Nelson here live with the man they call Meathead, the Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown, and David.
No. It's now DHHS.
DHHS?
David Hero.
Dave Hero has spoken.
Oh, that's supposed to be a play on D'Angelo De Niro, huh?
No, just, got to change it up once in a while.
Tillman's behind the glass, and I think we're dialed in on all of our streams as we are good to go with that. And we're going to be entering the Airtran phone zone a little bit early tonight because we know that a lot of you have a lot of things to say about the wrestling business today and the brand new TNA World Heavyweight Champion crowned tonight on Impact. We're also going to be going to our guest later in the show, Kenny King of Ring of Honor. He's going to be joining us at the bottom of the second hour here on the Pro Wrestling Report. This is a loaded show. So let's get to it. The numbers you can call us to join us in the Airtran phone zone in our 414 locally here, 276-3776. Again, that's 276-3776, or all over the world at 1-800-990-3776, 1-800-990-ESPN. We're also live in the Chatmosphere at pwrshow.com. Go to the community link at the top of the page and then pick PWR Chatmosphere to join the many people in there discussing live as we go right now. Also, on Twitter, PWR Show is the username, and that's where all the hot news comes from. There's so many lies out there right now, David Hero, about what's going on in the wrestling business. And over the weekend, there was one place to get all the hot news before anybody else had it, and that was the Pro Wrestling Report website.
Oh, my God. Did we have lots of hot news or what? Hulk Hogan injured, X-Pac.
We'll have to talk about that later on.
Yeah,
we'll get to that later on.
Just so everyone knows, Great Lakes Championship Wrestling is in Wisconsin.
Oh.
It's not in Minnesota. It's not in Michigan.
You don't think they're still on the road?
No.
So on the road
all of these reports that said X-Pac wrestled for GLCW in Minnesota and Michigan, no. It was here in Wisconsin.
Well, there are some challenges with journalistic integrity across the wrestling media community.
And how about the TNA X Division champion?
Douglas?
Yeah.
Douglas Williams?
We scooped that before anybody else did also, didn't we?
We did indeed, and that's why people tune in each and every week, DHHS. Shouldn't it just be HHS?
We can do Hero Has Spoken, that's fine.
Yeah. Let's first talk about the hot news of the evening. Let's start off with the brand new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Tillman behind the glass. He wants hot news now. Even he can't wait for hot news.
Well, it's what we're all here for. It's for the hot news.
Brand new World Heavyweight Champion in TNA Wrestling tonight, and that was RVD, who defeated AJ Styles to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. after a match earlier in the evening with Jeff Hardy. And now RVD, one night after the Pope, not able to defeat AJ Styles. RVD becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion in TNA. And we'll start with you, Meathead. Your thoughts. RVD, brand new into TNA about a month and a few days or so ago. And he has now traveled all the way to the top of the card. He is the new champion.
I'm a little confused as to why, but I can understand. The fact that you have RVD, a fan favorite, but I don't think he should have pulled it from AJ. I think he should have earned his way in. Even though RVD comes in with a name right away. The fans love him. I mean, I could understand if Jeff Hardy was made the champion right away. He has an instant fan base. It's something that the fans already know who these guys are, and they come with they don't have to reintroduce these characters. They do, but they don't because, again, they come in with that hot, WWE name still.
Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown of Ring of Honor Wrestling. The man who is over more than anybody else in this room from your appearance on Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television last week.
Wow.
Your thoughts, Rob Van Dam, the new TNA champion.
Why not? Well, there you have it. See?
A man of few words.
I think it was a huge mistake.
Huge mistake.
Absolutely.
Elaborate.
Well, because it just shows that AJ Styles and the old TNA regime wasn't good enough. And then it derails the Pope. I mean, now that it's
because you're crushed by that.
Now that it's a babyface champion, I mean, is he really going to work now with RVD?
I kind of think they rushed into this thing again with RVD. So next week there could be another champ. Who knows?
AJ's been, he said last night on Lockdown, and I didn't get a chance to check on it to be sure, but he said he was the longest reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion of all time.
Yeah, that was, nail in his coffin. But you know what? They should have let AJ win to make him just that much stronger.
But would it have?
If you think about it,
would it really have done that?
Who has he beaten as champion?
Besides
Sting,
beat the Pope.
The Pope. Besides Sting, when was the last memorable win he's had?
Over the Pope last night at Lockdown.
Yep. Okay.
He beat Nash, too, didn't he? Or was it Foley in the triple threat?
See, no one knows.
I think it was Foley.
They could have had him get
though.
a memorable win over someone, that's
because there was that
caliber
triple
guy.
threat that was Foley, Sting, AJ.
Might have been. I don't remember. That's how bad
that's
it is
how
for
weak.
AJ
That's
Styles.
how weak that is.
Not to mention his. I just hope now AJ loses that goofy robe with the pillow feathers super glued to it.
The ostrich.
I'm just waiting.
You know what? I was surprised by it, and overall, I think TNA Impact had something special going on for it tonight. I don't think they made many mistakes at all, aside from some poorly timed commercials.
And Orlando Jordan.
Hey,
at least he was dressed.
Nelson's next big thing in 2010.
At least he was dressed.
You know what was sad? Speaking of next big thing, was your boy Rob Terry.
Oh my God!
How bad was that?
Botch to the botch.
He screwed
to the botch.
up. I mean, he trips over Sting.
Just let him.
He can't.
He almost dropped Wolf.
Yeah, he couldn't press Wolf.
Oh my God!
You know what?
That was scary.
I'll be honest. Watching TNA from what I saw, it's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Considering Kurt Angle wasn't on the show, Ken Anderson wasn't on the show, Kevin Nash wasn't on the show, the new X Division champion Kazarian wasn't on the show.
And X-Pac is still in your basement.
I have nothing
Why do you have
to
him
do.
tied up?
I
What's
had
wrong with
nothing
you?
to do with X-Pac not being at TNA.
At this point, episode of Law and Order,
buying that.
you would be guilty.
I asked you beforehand. I said who was the last person to see him. Where was he seen last in the wrestling world?
Dave Hero.
Thank you. That's what I've been trying to say.
I mean, he wrestled Al Snow Friday in Racine, wrestled Al and Road Dogg in the Triple Threat Saturday in Waukesha.
And then I said, see you later. I'll see you on the pay-per-view tomorrow, X-Pac. I'll be watching you, brother. And he told me, Dave's giving me a ride, bro. I'll see you later.
Yeah, exactly. What happened?
And that's the last I've heard of the man.
And then Dave overslept. Dropped his phone in the tub?
No.
You dropped your phone in the tub?
I dropped.
What?
I took both Al Snow
You dropped the phone in the tub?
and
That's what I'm
X-Pac
saying.
to the same airport. The amazing thing is Al Snow made it to St. Louis, and X-Pac wound up somewhere else.
Break it right now. Correct the wrestling world on what happened with X-Pac.
Okay.
Let's
TNA
back it up a little bit.
Okay.
X-Pac
go
wrestled this past Friday and Saturday night on David Hero's Great Lake Championship Wrestling. And
In
for those of you that
Wisconsin.
don't know, David Hero, the top independent wrestling promoter in the country, drawing thousands for each of his events. This past Friday and Saturday, X-Pac was on shows in Racine and Waukesha and was seemingly scheduled to be in St. Louis for an advertised match on Sunday.
And TNA knew he was not going to be there because he was flown back home to Tampa. They just went in a different direction for the pay-per-view on Sunday, and they instead put Kevin Nash in the tag match with Scott Hall.
And Kevin Nash had to work 2 matches.
So, and as they said on Impact tonight, Dixie Carter knew about it and gave him the night off. So it wasn't fair that he got buried on the entire pay-per-view saying, oh, typical X-Pac, no-showing and whatnot.
Wow, they did that?
They did that.
What's funny is they did that to X-Pac, and Scott Hall actually showed up to the event.
Yeah, that was the strange thing,
But here's the thing, and as we knew and as we said at PWRshow.com Sunday morning, X-Pac would not be at the show. He was not going to St. Louis.
But to be honest, we knew Friday night he wasn't going to be.
We knew Friday.
But given that and knowing what the real situation was, why would TNA bury him?
Well,
Taz said on Sunday Night at Lockdown, it's X-Pac just being X-Pac. Those were his words.
Why can't real life be carried in a storyline?
You know what? I'm going to tell you why they buried him.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Hero.
The same reason why Scott Hall went through the table on the pay-per-view.
Which is?
X-Pac and Scott Hall are the two guys that if TNA wanted to get rid of, now they can get rid of them.
Why is that?
They have no value. They just went through it.
Well, no, but this way, they didn't give Hall and Nash, and I hate to jump around on the show, but, since we're talking about X-Pac and Scott Hall,
sure,
they can say, okay, well, look, X-Pac didn't make the pay-per-view, he's got issues, whatever it could be, he's done. They put Scott Hall through the table, didn't let them get their heat back, didn't bring him back on TV Monday night. Normally when that happens in a cage match, that's the blow-off, that's the end of something.
Right.
That could very well be the last time you see Scott Hall in TNA.
And X-Pac.
Let's go to the Airtran phone zone, and remember, you can be a part of it. The number 276-ESPN, locally or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN. First, we've got Glenn down in Orlando on line 1. Glenn, you are live on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, guys.
Not much at all. Glenn, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, I would like to voice my opinion. The beautiful people being all champions, I like it because they seem to be the best knockouts to me in the division right now.
Okay.
Kaz needed this title run, the X title, under his name Kaz, not Suicide. The new finisher by Kaz was really interesting to see and really cool to me. Joe returning tonight was cool, and it'll be interesting to see where they go from him now, that I see what his new character will be like. And RVD being champion is interesting because I wonder if Jeff Hardy will get jealous and turn.
I don't know if Jeff Hardy's going to turn. Again, Jeff Hardy is the TNA's version of Rey Mysterio. I don't think there's going to be a turn. They may run together while RVD is champ, but I don't see any kind of turn.
There's no way Jeff Hardy's going to be a heel until after, if he ever is, until after his court appearance.
Right.
Thank you for that call, Glenn, down in Orlando. And let's go out to the East Coast, and let's go to Queens, New York. Eric, you're live on line 3 on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, Eric.
Yeah, hey. I got to say, Dave Hero has got to be having the best week ever.
He was on VH1's Best Week Ever, didn't you see him?
He should be. I mean, we got the Pope losing. I've been on 1,000 wrestling websites, and everyone's talking about, GLCW because of this. It's been a long day.
Minnesota's or Milwaukee's GLCW?
No, the Milwaukee one. I checked Dave's Twitter. Okay, we don't have to go through that. It's the Milwaukee one. I tell you, it's been a really long day, guys. I've been passing out. Have you seen this wrestler photos all over town for Sean Waltman? I want to thank Dave, but because of him, we were able to see the Outsiders versus the Dudleys for the first time ever.
There you go, see?
And I've been waiting for years for that, and thanks to him, we were able to see it. What I want to know is who's going to go missing at the June show.
Well, let's hope that Baron is able to make
could be the X
effort.
Division champion. Who knows?
Kazarian will be there.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And guy, I have a joke for you. Why was the TNA pay-per-view called Lockdown?
Well, I think that's because all the matches are in the steel cage.
No, because a certain employee heard Jim Cornette was outside the arena.
Come on, Rimshot Tillman. The man made a joke.
I liked it.
No, I'll give that a 2.
And I just wanted, my question for you guys is, well, it's been a pretty sad day with the death of another wrestler, R-Truth. But I don't want to talk about that explosion tonight. But what do you guys think about the irony of RVD winning the title a day before?
It's 420.
Before 420, do we think that he's going to lose it again in about a week's time, just like that, bad night with Sabu back in 2006?
I mean, they could be hot-shotting this thing, but I doubt it. I would imagine they're going to go a while with that. And thank you for that call, Eric and Queen's. Very entertaining. But I would eventually say that this is going to go for a while. They've got a lot of people who can chase after RVD, including Jeff Hardy.
But actually, no.
Mr. Anderson.
It's going to be Matt Morgan.
No.
I don't know.
You're not their prediction guy. What are you doing?
I'm telling you, I feel.
He's trying to be.
No, I'm not trying to be anything. Don't tell me I'm trying to. It's Matt Morgan. In my opinion, that would be the right guy to go for RVD.
Why do you have to defend everything with "in my opinion"?
Because, again, you guys.
Clearly, this show's about opinion.
No. Clearly, this show's about facts. I'm the only one that gives opinion anymore.
What?
My opinion is.
What?
That's.
Yeah. Kill his mic. He's done.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's the David Hero Show.
No.
It's the HHS PWR.
Listen, you know what? I'm right, and I'm happy. It's all that matters.
Thank you for that call, Eric, out in
You're
Queens.
right about what? Oh, I said the Pope would not
It was
headline
February
a pay-per-view.
12th, 2010 on Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, which is our weekly television show on Time Warner Cable here in southeastern Wisconsin and available on demand at pwrshow.com. David Hero said that the Pope would never headline a pay-per-view. And, I mean, you buried him.
Hang on.
But it was nothing. It was nothing against
2
him.
days later, he won the tournament to get the main event match at last night's Lockdown, where many people thought, David Hero, you not included, that he would indeed walk out the new TNA champion.
And he didn't even main event last night's Lockdown pay-per-view. He didn't.
Did he, Rushy? He was in the second and last match. JB did the introduction.
Wasn't it a co-main event?
No, the main event.
According to David Hero, those don't exist.
No, you know what? Listen, I asked the public. I said, hey, what is the main event for tonight's Lockdown? And 99.9% of them said Team Hogan versus Team Flair. So it's not just me, it's the people.
The people.
And like I said back in February.
But anyway.
Like I said,
David,
it will prove itself.
And
it proved itself. Oh, he's going to have to now.
Oh, my. Come on.
Well, until he does,
wait, listen. He's going to retire now because David Hero proved himself right. Now he's got to retire.
No. TNA proved David Hero right. Because look where they booked it. Hey, he lost. He lost to a pen to the eye.
No.
Rossi, right now, put a pen in his eye. See what happens.
No. I mean, listen. And they didn't mention him once tonight. They didn't say, wow, here's an update on the Pope. No.
They give him an update on X-Pac.
Instead, they take the belt off the guy and put it on the other top baby face in the company.
So this is my reasoning. The Pope gave AJ Styles credibility. So when Rob Van Dam beats AJ Styles, he's not beating a nobody. He's
if you play this
backwards,
he's apologizing to me right now.
Ding something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Never.
I'm telling you right now. Listen, and it's nothing. And I've said this from day one. It's nothing against
the Pope. They call that
the
get-go.
I just never felt that TNA was going to embrace him and make him that star, which they tried and they did everything
and they
could.
still will.
Oh,
just not right now.
He's not done.
We're going to take a timeout. This discussion will continue, including David Hero sharing with us some very interesting news about the Pope when we come back. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com and PWRshow.com. Rob Van Dam, the brand new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
New champion.
New champion.
Which completely derails everything they've been building up now. Going in a new direction. RVD versus Mr. Anderson.
Now, David Hero, you've made it a point throughout this whole thing that it's nothing personal between you and the Pope.
Everyone's taking it that way. It's nothing personal.
I'll give you time now to just make that point as clear as you can make it.
It's nothing personal. It's all about business. And Rashi, as you know, wrestling is so political.
It gets people to retire.
I've never experienced a politic in this business ever.
Okay. Well, like I said, as you know, some of us are living a dream.
Like I said,
hold on. I said, as you know. I didn't say as you've experienced.
Wait. I'm taking medication for my ribs.
Oh, that's it. Gotcha. Gotcha.
I didn't drive here. I got a ride.
Ah.
During the break at pwrshow.com in the Chatmosphere, user Phenom8809 said, Styles versus Pope wasn't the headlining match because Hogan and Flair had to overshadow everybody, so they never built up the TNA title match right.
No. Hogan and Flair were the headliners because Hogan and Flair sell the tickets.
No. Come on, man.
Wait. Hogan, Flair, RVD, Jeff Hardy, and Sting don't sell the tickets?
Well, then why? No.
Yeah.
No.
You're wrong.
The ticket sellers don't necessarily have to be in the main event. Come on, man.
Okay, you take a poll of all the people that were there, and you ask them, who do they buy a ticket to see? What match?
What match?
You could also ask people, too, that they buy tickets not to see just one match. They buy to go for the experience.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, I'm telling you that there are some matches I would pay for.
There's one match that draws the people into the house.
No.
There's that one star headliner, whatever it is.
I think it's the entire show. I wouldn't pay $40 to see one match.
But I'm saying, if they had to pick, okay, what match did you want to see by coming here? They have to pick one. They're going to say Hogan and Flair with Sting and RVD and Jeff Hardy.
Who is they?
The casual wrestling fan.
Well, I'm a casual wrestling fan
because
I don't watch it often. And me personally,
you're not a casual wrestling
because I know
fan.
characters, but I don't know exactly what everybody does all the time, I'm going to go with the younger guys that can go.
But you're not a casual wrestling fan because you're in the business.
Too.
No, you don't count.
Let's talk about TNA Lockdown. Let's talk about. I told you guys.
All right, Dave.
It's been thick in this room since Dave walked in.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's not fair.
What do you mean it's not fair?
Fair and balanced.
Yeah. No, I mean seriously.
They're
all wrong.
You're very excited tonight.
No, you know what? I was excited earlier. I'm like, this is going to be a fun show because of my prediction, obviously. And of course, last week, how I said SmackDown gets, snubbed, and what happens on Raw? It's now a SmackDown show.
That was luck. That was luck.
Well, wait a minute.
He laid some dynamite under the glacier and ice when it caused that volcano to erupt.
Right? Well, X-Pac, I'm getting heat because it's because of me that X-Pac didn't make
X-Pac.
It wasn't me. It was
You did buy that black Hummer a couple of weeks ago.
And who are you? It's not my fault.
It was actually Scarpone and his crew.
Yeah, whatever.
They did. You weren't at the after party.
Let's talk about the rest of TNA Lockdown from last night on pay-per-view, and we're going to take your phone calls. We got a couple people on hold right now. You can join them by calling 276-ESPN or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN. Last night, the current TNA champion took on James Storm in the opening contest at Lockdown to determine who would have the advantage in the Lethal Lockdown match later that night. RVD versus James Storm, and RVD comes out the winner in that quick but very good match at Lockdown. Another added match was an escape match, which is basically just a cage match. Homicide versus Brian Kendrick versus the Motor City Machine Guns of Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, performing separately, not as a team. Great to see the Guns get a match on the show. However, this was obviously because, as we said, Doug Williams not able to make it to the pay-per-view. However, it was announced that he would be stripped of the title after they completely explained why he wouldn't be there, which was out of his control, out of TNA's control, out of everybody's control, completely explained it, and then said that they were stripping him of the X Division title as a result. To me, that made absolutely no sense. And I'll deflect to you, Rashi, your thoughts on that. A wrestler who can't make it to the show due to travel problems, once-in-a-century type travel problems.
Yeah, travel problems that weren't his fault.
Gets stripped of the title on TV.
That's not standard fare, is it?
No, that's not.
I don't
fair
know if
nor
it's happened
his
before.
Well, he had to do it on a pay-per-view.
I don't.
Why did they have to?
But why do you have to?
Because people want to see a title match. They bought tickets to see the whole show, which includes the title match, Mr. Casual Wrestling fan. You got to give them what they paid for.
What if the people actually defend Dave Hero for a second? What if they paid for that match?
So was there a caveat that he get the first title shot after?
I'm sure he would.
I'm sure there should be. It wasn't mentioned
well,
yet.
Did the match happen? Did the title match happen that night?
Without him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who's the champ?
Kazarian is the new X Division champion.
So then
Kazarian should go against Douglas
Mr.
Lund.
Tracy Brooks.
Yeah. That's fair.
You're not going to make Tracy Brooks disappear, are you?
No. Actually, you can now follow her on Twitter.
I have been following her.
The Tracy Brooks.
And Kaz has called me and told me to stop.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the paperwork will soon be following.
No, it was unfortunate that, what happened with the volcanic ash or whatever it was that happened over in Europe was a volcanic.
But John Cena's okay. So I want you guys to all be able to sleep tonight.
Okay
He's
too,
safe. He told us that tonight on Raw.
As been mentioned by others on Primetime and has been mentioned by the internet wrestling community. There's already a sunburnt John Cena out there too, younger with more hair. What's his name? Darren Young.
He's sunburned? I just thought he was tan.
Close enough. An overcooked John Cena.
Well, either way, the X Division title taken off of Douglas Williams, and we saw this match where the escape match to get into the matchup later on. Homicide won that match. A good match, a short match, but it was a very good matchup, and it was the second match in a row where we saw a lot of blood in a wrestling match. Third match, Kevin Nash versus Eric Young. Quick, very quick.
Wow.
And after being told that X-Pac would not be there because he was in David Hero's basement, that Kevin Nash then announced after the matchup that he would be teaming up with Scott Hall to take on Team 3D. Team 3D then announcing that it would be a St. Louis street fight match and falls count anywhere.
I feel bad for Eric Young.
Yeah.
They give him a nice little push.
You feel bad for Eric Young, but you don't feel bad for the Pope.
Hey, the Pope got his title shot. He got what he wanted.
Hold on, man. Eric Young has gotten way more exposure than the Pope, but yet no sympathy for the Pope.
Hey, listen.
We're going to have Pope on soon,
Stop.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah, that'd be great. Let him come on the show. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, I tried that once too. Go ahead.
No, listen. What I'm saying is they build up Eric Young to try to make him a main eventer.
Like they built up the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
He jumps off the top of the cage, beats the band or whatever you want to call him right now, and then he gets his one singles match against
Pope
Nash and
Hogan?
gets squashed.
Pope save Hogan?
Hey, man, all I have to say is that's life sometimes.
I'm just saying, TNA had another opportunity to build somebody, and they didn't do it.
Well, maybe their point was that's life sometimes.
So,
I'm sorry.
okay, so with the Pope, that's life.
Well, but I don't know if anything was done because tonight we didn't see Nash or Young on Impact.
No. Or the Pope.
Well, he's hurt. He took a pin to the eye. It was a bit.
I never understood that. TNA has done this a few times now.
So
guys that get a nice little spot on pay-per-view don't show up for the next.
Well, you know
TV.
why? Because they had to pay for Sting and Samoa Joe and
2 nights
RVD
in a row
and
for
Jeff
Sting.
Hardy and Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. There was no money left over for Nash and Ken and Pope and anybody else.
It was a knockouts matchup for both the TNA Knockouts tag titles and the singles championship. Angelina Love and Tara teaming up to take on the beautiful people comprised of Madison Rayne and Velvet Sky. This one I'm still confused by because somehow or another, Lacey Von Erich got a key to the cage, opens it up, hits, comes in and interferes in the matchup, and the winner.
Lacey is very persuasive.
And I think it was Earl that gave her the key. She finally got to Earl.
So either Madison Rayne or Velvet Sky, I don't think they made it very clear. But one of them, if not both of them, are the new Knockouts champion. I think it's smart. The beautiful people have all the golds. Yeah, we haven't seen that done with a faction in a while. I don't think maybe since Evolution.
Yeah.
But that would make sense to also do it to the Straight Edge Society. I heard you mention that it's time for Serena Deeb to get in the mix and start
Serena
working.
in the ring.
You get Punk with a singles title. You get Luke. Punk and Luke can be tag champs.
Absolutely.
And get Serena a belt.
Yeah.
Next matchup was Team 3D versus the Band, and the winners were Team 3D, which was a bit surprising. This one was all over the place. Scott Hall
clean
taking 3D
over
through the table.
Clean.
And Team 3D winning that matchup.
When was the last time you ever saw Scott Hall go through a table?
Clean?
Ever.
Never? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to prove his worth. Maybe he's trying to,
That's one way of getting the guy out of the company.
So then how good are the Nasty Boys? Didn't they beat the Dudleys?
Yeah.
Ooh, book them, Dave.
The Nasty Boys?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to book the Nasty
Powerful. They're the most powerful free agent tag
the
team on the
Nasty
planet.
Boys
sarcasm from Rashi
against
Brown.
Rashi Brown and the partner of his choosing would be hot.
Dude, I already took Brian Knobs on in a strip joint a few years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You left us some more singles with him, right?
Let's go back to the phone zone.
He was tipping you is what he's saying.
Hey, so, wait. So what you're saying is that Ring of Honor guys do that?
What?
Oh!
We do what?
You guys fight in strip clubs.
No, that was my Great Lakes Championship Wrestling days
12
years ago.
I see.
Let's go back into the Airtran phone zone before we talk about the final three matchups on TNA Lockdown. Let's go to Gilberto down in Florida on line 2. You're live on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Tremendous.
Hey, Gil.
Both shows tonight, after I finished watching Monday Night SmackDown and Impact, I was actually, trying to take it all in. Just like, wow, 4 hours of great wrestling on Monday nights. Good for RVD that he won the TNA belt. Great match. Actually, people are going to say, oh, another WWE guy winning the major title.
A lot of people have said that already.
But it doesn't matter because RVD, I felt that he actually deserves it, because he had the last time he won a title, I don't know, probably 06 when he won the WWE title.
Yeah, when he changed into the ECW title. Yeah.
Yeah, and Raw was of course Triple H doing a stand-up routine. McGruber, I thought they did a pretty good job, made me laugh a couple times. But TNA, I think that what you guys are talking about with like guys like Eric Young and a lot of guys not getting TV time, I think they need another show. Like, I know they have Explosion and web matches, but they need another, 2-hour show because, they have all these talents, and they don't get enough airtime. And then when people come out of nowhere, it's like, whoa, where's this guy been the last couple weeks? And
yeah. Gilberto, I got to say this, and thanks for calling in. There have been weeks on WWE Raw and SmackDown where major stars or people who you may think you should have seen have not seen. However, if you can walk away with the show not realizing you didn't see those people, then there's no problem, in my opinion. However, if it jumps out at you and if it's glaring that you didn't see those people, then there's a problem. And actually, right after Impact went off, we sort of had to talk amongst ourselves to figure out who wasn't on, to come up with those 6 names of people who we thought might have made some sense to have on Impact. So TNA has the 2 challenges. First of which is you can't book a show just trying to put everybody on it and just trying to fit everybody in because then that'll fail. Second, they got to figure out where they're going and make sure that they're doing what they need to do to show everybody where they're going to get people bought in to the next pay-per-view sacrifice.
Right. And also, they need to figure out they're overexposing the wrong people and
like
Orlando
Rob
Jordan.
Terry?
Well, even like Bischoff and Hogan, there's too much of them.
How many segments do you get of those 2 a night?
Hogan is, I feel like he wants everybody to understand what his storyline is, but he's literally telling it to you. And it's like, dude, you don't need to tell me for 3 minutes what you're trying to get across with Bischoff. I mean, condense that down. Give somebody else a little bit of airtime.
I do agree with Gilberto. I think they need 2 more hours of TV. But unfortunately, as much as I agree with that, the problem will be that if we do get that second show, it will feel like WCW Thunder or WCW Saturday Night.
They got now,
right. But what I'm saying is it will feel like that because you'll be like, man, I don't know who half of these people are. Why should I care about any of these people on this show? There won't be enough.
Yeah, and that's a whole other headache for the bookers.
Right, exactly. There won't be enough. There won't be enough name brand talents on that second show to get that show over, period.
No, it's not economically feasible.
It's not economically sound either.
They could have enough name brand talents because some guys work both shows.
They do.
They do, but
I'm telling you, if you use the second show to get the second tier of wrestlers over, then you have to have them on more than you have to have
We are putting the cart before this horse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not us. I mean, that's not me.
Let's go to Steve out in Heartland, Wisconsin. Steve, you're live on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, guys. First, I want to apologize for the shtick I tried last week about the TNA rehab. That went over as well as David Arquette win the title WCW, which is now a defunct company bought by WWE in 2001. Anyway.
Thanks for getting that in.
That shtick wasn't good either.
Yeah, that's over than your worse than your joke.
I haven't watched it. I just heard. I've been listening to the program, and I like I said, I haven't been watching it for a while. And I heard you say about Rob Van Dam. Now, why wouldn't they advertise that if that wasn't the main event? If it was Team Hogan versus Team Flair, why wouldn't they just announce the title match for Monday?
Here's how we got there, Steve. And thanks for that call. The opening segment of Impact featured AJ, Jeff, and RVD in the ring. Hogan comes out and announces the match between RVD and Hardy, and that the winner would get a shot at AJ's title. Actually, a very well-done piece to open up the show. That's how they got there. So I'm not sure the way they did it, agree or disagree, was probably the right way to do it as far as time. A lot of people are saying, we've got a lot of feedback on our Twitter account especially, that this was a mistake by TNA to make this match on Impact and to give it away for free. And we'll talk about that we go down the program.
Let's face it. Their TNA pay-per-view buy rates suck.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, really, who watched last night?
They can't even
give it away now to try to boost the rating for next week.
Absolutely.
They couldn't even stretch this angle out to the next pay-per-view. That's how anxious they are to move on.
Anxious.
So,
that was good.
Yeah,
that was politically correct. That was good.
So they're anxious to move on from the Pope.
From everything. They never let things just soak in and go. They just always trying something new, something different. That's the word for it. It's just chill out for a second. Let us marinate.
You know what's interesting?
Well, they have done that with some. The Angle, Anderson.
That's great, and it worked, right?
And that one did work.
Thank you.
You know what was interesting is, with Roddy Piper in Town of the Week, and we talked a lot about the current state of wrestling. And he says that they no longer wrestle for next week.
Mm-hmm. Those are his exact words.
Yep. And it's the truth. I mean, right now it's for tonight.
Once again, along the lines of a sitcom or a stand-up variety show, each week's a different episode. It really doesn't matter what happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the arc.
And I've always loved sequential TV, and that's not what we're getting with TNA right now.
It's all about the story arc. That's what builds a good TV program, and that's what builds good episodic wrestling.
Right.
We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we've got callers in Boston, Chicago, and New Jersey here on the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
I'm going to let it sink in.
No. Y'all better, just take it all in. It's the last time you're here for a while.
Well, I'm not saying, whoa.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com and PWRshow.com. The Pope, not on Impact tonight.
Well,
but let's, if we can be serious for a minute, the Pope may indeed be injured. From what we understand, in addition to Hulk Hogan's injured shoulder, dislocated shoulder, I don't know how he did it last night. But
what did he do?
He dislocated his shoulder.
I don't know if anyone noticed, but you can clearly, you couldn't clearly see it, but you could see that the Pope was being tended to in the ring after the match with AJ last night of the pay-per-view. So hopefully he's not injured, because we would never wish that on any wrestler. But we'll get you information on that as we get it and if we have it. Next matchup on TNA Lockdown last night on pay-per-view was Kid Anderson versus Kurt Angle. And gentlemen, this was a amazing matchup. Absolutely amazing matchup. Kurt Angle gets the win. The moves that we saw in this match, Kurt Angle's moonsault from the top of the cage.
Ridiculous.
Just from the beginning to the end, they told a tremendous story. Some saying this may have been Ken Anderson's best match ever.
Ever?
No way.
What some are saying. I'm not part of that some.
You didn't
I'm just
see
reporting.
it, bro.
No. Maybe bro, third or fourth.
Because you can name off the top five?
That's right. I'm sure he's wrestled with you a couple times.
Every match he had with me
yeah.
is in his top 10, and then, maybe that's 11 or 12.
Okay.
David Hero, your thoughts on the matchup?
I thought it was a very solid match. I thought both guys worked hard. I thought the moonsault off the top rope was ridiculous. It could honestly, he was an inch or two away from hurting both guys. I thought the bump that Ken took on the shoulder was crazy also, and I think it was good. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to end that program because Angle's taking some time off.
Yeah. But that was
as we all probably heard.
Yeah, as we all did.
But that was a good blow-off match. A finish to the whole stretch that has been Kurt Angle, Ken Anderson.
But I think the smartest thing, the best business would have been for Ken to go over on Kurt.
Absolutely, especially with Kurt going away.
Go over?
Yeah, beat him.
Win the match?
Win the match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, there could be some new listeners out there. They may not be up on the vernacular.
I think it would have been better if Kurt would have won and Kenny just beat him up after. Really bad. Really, really, really bad.
They call that getting your heat back?
Yeah. I didn't want to be using.
No,
what they should have done is, okay, fine. Kurt beats Ken. Let Ken come out tonight and cut a promo on somebody. And no.
One Man Dynasty in the Chatmosphere at PWRshow.com says it was not the move. It was not the moves. It was the storytelling that made the match. And this one did tell a great story. And it was about midpoint through the match where it became evident that this match was booked in a way that either man could win, and there was no clear winner at that point. It was not obvious, as some matches are at times, and that's what made it even that much more great.
So do you think at that point you could say both guys, no matter who won or lost, could still come out strong even if they didn't win?
Yeah. Yep. It was a good match.
Does that work for the Pope?
No, that's not how Dave Hero booked it.
The only problem with the match was when Kurt Angle threw the key out into the audience.
No, the only problem was when Kurt Angle, crushed Kenny's.
It's a nut shot.
Kenny's.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny's. Yeah. Is that what he calls them, is Kenny's?
Great matchup. Excellent matchup. Some are saying a match of the year contender. It's early in the year, though. People only usually remember the end of the year.
You know what was match of the year? Al Snow versus Road Dogg versus X-Pac. It was outstanding. You weren't there.
In Minnesota?
Yeah, in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Well, Rashi had a great match, and then he broke his ribs.
Yeah.
AJ Styles retains the World Heavyweight Championship without Ric Flair.
We've already talked about this. We can just skip to the next
I'm going to skip right on down to the next match, which was Lethal Lockdown.
It was proven right.
Lethal Lockdown. Team Hogan wins. I will say that there was a stain left on the pay-per-view, and it was the last couple of minutes of the pay-per-view. Had Hogan and Flair not gotten involved, I think overall the show would have been better than it was, and it was still a very good show. But at that point, everybody's laying, near dead in the ring. All of a sudden, Abyss pops up, Wolf pops up, Black Hole Slam, 1, 2, 3, and Team Hogan wins. Flair's a bloody mess, took the bump on the thumbtacks. He's got brass knucks and garbage cans, and he's just a mess. Everything was so good up until that point. It was like, man, this is not what I want to be going home with. And a lot of feedback on it as well, that this was a taint, if you will, on the pay-per-view. So overall, your thoughts, gentlemen, on TNA Lockdown pay-per-view, all cage in St. Louis, Missouri.
For the most part, I liked it. I thought it was decent. But going back to the main event, how insignificant was Sting?
Oh, I'm sorry. When you said going back to the main event, I thought you meant the World Championship match.
No. Listen.
Was Sting in that match?
Sting was in the main event, the headlining main event.
He was
TNA Lockdown.
Captain of Team Flair.
He was insignificant.
Did he forget where he was supposed to be?
I don't know.
In the Chatmosphere at PWRshow.com, username Big Hoss says, after Lockdown, I finally am into this Angle-Anderson angle, and now it's over and Angle's gone. Great. It was a good show. I thought it was worth the $35, and that's how I rate pay-per-views. It was totally worth the money. I was entertained from the beginning to the end and intrigued to a degree by everything that was presented on the show. Let's go back to the phone zone, presented by AirTran Airlines. Let's go out to New Jersey, where Carlos has been waiting very patiently on hold. Carlos, you're live. Carlos, you're live on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hello, Carlos. All right, Tillman, who are we going to go to? Line 1 or 2? All right, Carlos, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Carlos, sorry about that. Thank you very much for joining us. What do you have for us tonight on the Pro Wrestling Report?
No problem. So I want to say you guys are awesome. A long-time fan, first-time caller.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I don't mean to deviate too far from the conversation, but something really irked me about tonight on TNA. And, you know, we've all been watching wrestling for a long time, and we've seen some really meaningful, like, title changes and where the post-match, you know, the celebration means so much. Like Eddie Guerrero winning the title, Shawn Michaels winning the title. And tonight, I'm watching RVD win the title, and then, you know, the stuff starts falling, and then all the wrestler starts coming out, and then Dixie Carter starts coming out, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, so is RVD fulfilling his childhood dream of being TNA champion, or, like, his 2-hour quest for the belt and finally achieved, you know, it's like Tommy Dreamer finally beating Raven for the first time. You see it. It's magic when you're watching it. I'm watching this, and it's blowing my mind. I'm like, why? It's like they're forcing it to be special.
I mean, like when Mikey Whipwreck was the ECW champion, and they couldn't believe good old Mikey won the championship?
Yeah, good old Mikey.
No, the reason they do something like that is RVD is a fan favorite, so, you know, everybody was shocked and surprised, and would come out and celebrate, get a rub from it.
No, it's a little bit of that, but a lot more of this.
AJ got that, too. He involved the fans. He allowed the fans to come into the ring with him.
They wanted to make the moment special for the viewers. And a lot of people, maybe not you, Carlos, and certainly not us, but a lot of people will believe the hype. That's why everybody went to see Avatar. Granted, it was a good movie, but that's why everybody ran out to see it, because there was so much hype surrounding it. If they hype it up enough, WWE's done it as well. Remember when JBL came back a couple years ago and he had like 10 minutes of pyro?
Yeah.
That made him bigger. This may make RVD bigger.
JBL bigger.
This may make RVD bigger because anybody who was new to TNA watched and said, wow, this is pretty cool. They just made a big deal out of this. This must be special. I want to know why. And maybe they're going to tune in next week.
How unenthused did those guys look walking down the ramp to congratulate RVD?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a funeral. It was like a funeral.
Well, and here's the thing. It's not like AJ was like this heel that just, you know, was just a monster in TNA that just had, like, you know, a stranglehold on the company.
Kind of like when Sting beat Hogan at Starrcade 98.
Nobody saw that.
I think there's 98. It was a big deal that Sting had sat quiet for almost a year and finally went and beat NWO's Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, when he came back with a farmer tan.
Wrong one.
Carlos, thank you for that call. Good point. Maybe they did overdo it. I viewed it as something that they were doing just to make the moment special.
And they did it to make sure people didn't change the channel right away either.
Yeah, good point. There's a lot of confetti. What color was the confetti, David?
I think it was the Hulkster's colors. You know what's funny also on Impact is Hogan was wearing the new Abyss T-shirt out to the ring.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yep.
But Abyss wasn't wearing his own T-shirt out to the ring.
Now, Ken's got that great shirt. Ken Anderson has that great shirt, Wrestling's Real, People Are Fake.
Yeah.
There's another shirt I think should be in the pipeline. I'd wear Thank God. Let's go out to Bowman in Boston. You're live on the Pro Wrestling Report. Bowman up. You're live on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much. How are you?
All right. Just first thing, we're obviously talking about TNA here, and I want to talk about the fact that Pope's character basically got killed on the Lockdown pay-per-view by him not winning that match. He needed that win completely, and it just didn't give him, and he didn't give that opportunity, and I kind of feel bad for him on that.
Who is this? Who are you speaking about, rather?
Yeah.
The Pope. The Pope?
Isn't there a moratorium on that now? Are we done with it?
He was agreeing with you, man.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not going to bring it up anymore. I'm finished.
You are finished.
R-Truth being blown up. His shoes were left behind, though.
What happened? What the hell happened?
The MacGruber, can make a bomb out of a spoon and a gumball wrapper.
MacGyver?
MacGruber.
MacGruber.
It was a moderately successful skit on Saturday Night Live. Now it's a movie. They were the guest hosts of Raw tonight. Raw Down.
Okay.
They blew up R-Truth, blah, blah, blah. So, anyways, Bowman, thank you for that call. We're going to take a time out, and when we come back, more of your calls and more discussion on WWE Raw, TNA Impact, and a special guest. This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
For over 10 years, the world's #1 source for professional wrestling news and information. And once again, here's your hosts, Damian Nelson, Frank Cosentino, and the man they call Meathead. This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN. We're live Monday night, April 19, 2010. Thank you for joining us wherever you are all over the world. Damian Nelson here live with David the Hero, the Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown, and the man they call Meathead. What an active hour one. Thank you so much to all of you who called from all over the United States to discuss your thoughts on professional wrestling. Coming up this weekend, Ring of Honor is going to be in Dayton, Ohio, I believe, Rashi, correct? And right now, joining us on the phone is one of the main stars of Ring of Honor Wrestling, Austin Aries. Austin, how are you tonight?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Tremendous, tremendous. You've got a big matchup coming up this weekend in Dayton, Ohio, teaming with Kenny King, going up against the House of Truth, John Raymond and Christian Abel, along with Truth Martini. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to see in that matchup from you coming up this weekend from Ring of Honor.
Well, House of Truth are a couple of guys. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate their sense of style. Maybe a few of the guys in Ring of Honor who actually keep up with AW when it comes to fashion sense. But they've been trying to make a name for themselves here over the last few months. They've had some good outings against some top tag teams, and now they get to really step it up and go against the measuring stick, AW and his protege, Kenny King.
That's this weekend, Dayton, Ohio. I believe you guys are also returning to Chicago coming up very soon as well.
Yep, the very next night, Chicago Ridge, which is always a good crowd, always a good show. So if you make it out, I definitely encourage it.
Now, we've got sitting here with us, Austin, man you know very well, the Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown.
Yes, I do know.
How do you feel about his fashion sense?
His fashion sense? You know what? I appreciate Rashi Brown's fashion sense for one reason. He can wear pink and get away with it. Now, it could be the fact that he's 6'5", 265 pounds, or maybe it just works well with his skin complexion. Either way, the guy rocks pink, and he definitely gets away with it, much like myself.
Now, Austin Aries, you've been known to be a very outspoken person in the professional wrestling world, and another person in Ring of Honor right now, very outspoken as well, that may have gotten him in a little bit of trouble, Jim Cornette. What are your thoughts on this controversy between him and Vince Russo down in TNA?
Well, I don't know if it's so much of a controversy. Obviously, me and Jim Cornette maybe cut from the same cloth when it comes to that. Maybe that's why we butt heads sometimes, because we're not afraid to say what's on our mind. From being down there and from dealing with Vince Russo, I can understand the frustration on Jim's part. And one of my philosophies is I only let people get to me as much as I care about them, as much as my opinion of them holds weight. So. In that vein, I think Jim Cornette really shouldn't give a damn about Vince Russo or the fact that he's doing his part to help destroy professional wrestling.
ROH on...
Wait, let me... Bro. Okay, there we go.
ROH on HDNet every Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. A replay as well at 11 o'clock, I believe. Thank you for giving us 4 hours now of wrestling each and every Monday night.
Sure. And the beautiful thing is, not to cut you off, is I know right now HDNet's not available in every household, but just about every household has the internet. So if you go to YouTube later in the week, I believe the actual HDNet show is uploaded on YouTube about Wednesday or Thursday, and so nobody has an excuse not to check out what Ring of Honor is doing right now.
If you're in Dayton or even Chicago, if you've never seen a Ring of Honor show, Austin Aries, aside from, of course, seeing you and Rashi Brown, what are some of the reasons that people should make this their first try of Ring of Honor?
Well, I'd say another big reason to go to Ring of Honor Chicago and Dayton would be because I'll be there. Oh, did you mention that? Well, I think it's so important it's worth mentioning twice. Let's be honest here. But you know what? I don't think I have to sit there and do a hard sell on the Ring of Honor product. The passion, the intensity, that shows in what we do. Every guy that steps in that ring is going to leave it all out there for the fans and provide the best professional wrestling, which is something I grew up watching, that you're going to find today.
In our chatmosphere at pwrshow.com, one of the users named Stephen D just said ROH is probably the best show on Mondays.
Period. Sounds like a smart guy.
Well, this weekend, Friday, Saturday night, Dayton, Ohio, Saturday, Chicago, Illinois, ROHWrestling.com. So we can get more information or tickets for those shows. And thank you very much, Austin Aries, for spending a little bit of your busy time with us here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Not a problem. Now I'll get back to cooking my gourmet meal for a gourmet woman.
Austin Aries of Ring of Honor Wrestling joining us here on the Pro Wrestling Report. And thank you very much for that. Let's continue now talking this Monday night's wrestling shows, and a show we haven't talked about, WWE Raw, as we said, hosted by McGruber.
I've said over and over, Christine Wiig is the star of the future. She's got talent, and I don't mean that whack-ass TV show. I mean, she's an amazing comedian.
Triple H comes out to start the show and explains that the WWE Raw crew is stuck in Ireland. I think Sheamus had a little bit something to do with that. Dave Hero kidnaps X-Pac. Sheamus kidnaps the Raw crew. There's a lot of crime going on in professional wrestling right now.
Not crime time, though. Not crime time.
I'm just saying.
It's lies. Just lies.
Lies, all lies?
Lies, all lies.
Where does X-Pac lie?
Dave Hero's basement.
In Tampa. In his bedroom, I'm sure, right now.
How do you know where he's at?
Is that where you put him?
At?
Yeah.
Because I know stuff. I'm an insider.
I know stuff. I'm an insider.
Absolutely. That's why the show is number one.
No, that should be the T-shirt right there. Dave Hero, I'm an insider. I know stuff.
No.
That would sell.
I know stuff.
I'm David Hero. Yeah.
Triple H explains that Raw is SmackDown basically tonight, and also we heard that the WWE in a very, very professional move is going to be offering and did offer all the 16,000 plus people in East Rutherford, New Jersey, a refund for tonight's show, and they can go to the box office tomorrow to pick up those refunds. A very good move. But at the same time, okay, so you went to see WWE Raw, and you got WWE Raw with SmackDown stars, basically, in Triple H and Cena and Orton via satellite. So what does that say about SmackDown if they're going to give you a refund?
I know. I mean, what happened to cards subject to change? I've been seeing that since I was a kid.
And the entire card was subject to change.
I mean, you did get WWE wrestlers, and you got a wrestling show.
Correct.
So why do you need your money back?
Especially when you see Undertaker versus Jack Swagger.
Swagger?
You know what, if you know what's about Jack Swagger? Is whenever he has a big match, they give him plenty of time.
He's a big man.
But they don't always give him the actual World Heavyweight Championship belt.
Yeah. Well, I think X-Pac stole that.
So that means it's at your house.
I'm in the basement, yeah. I got the belt, but X-Pac's not there.
You know what? Here's the thing. Let me say this about Raw tonight. And I understand the challenges. This is not WWE's fault. I think they did everything they could. I think that they should have actually just did SmackDown. Did Raw on Friday then. Mm-hmm. They had SmackDown on. Why not? Be a good thing. Talk about the send-off or whatever, going to a new network. But they did Raw with SmackDown stars, and the show overall had no feeling. I mean, at the end of tonight, right now, from watching Raw, what stuck with any of you?
McGruber! And that's not a good thing.
Thank you. Wow. What stuck with me on Raw?
Triple H was orange.
Yeah, but we've had that conversation. What's more orange?
Sheamus' hair
for Triple H.
You know what stuck out with me was Edge and Jericho had the same color scheme on their tights.
The same outfit. I mean, we were like, huh?
Was that meant for when they were a tag team? That's what we asked.
That was the topic of our conversation, really.
And that's sad.
Again, I'm not sure you can actually judge Raw tonight because of the situation they were in.
Come on, man. I don't care. They change things on the fly every week, so
I agree.
No excuse. And actually, they had more time because they know they were going to be stranded. So, not going to fly.
I agree. We don't agree on much, but I agree this time.
They're hot with each other tonight.
TNA had a hot crowd in the Impact Zone, including that girl in the green shirt in the front row. Had a hot crowd in the Impact Zone, and wait, let me rephrase that.
Did you see the sign at the Impact Zone?
Hey, Cuz.
Hey, Cuz.
David.
Cuz was down there?
Someone down there had a sign big and yellow that says, "Hey, cuz."
And hot atmosphere. I think the pacing of the show was excellent tonight on the TNA side of things. It was almost like that what everyone talks about, Crash TV. They just kept going, but spent enough time on everything to let it sink in and make it worthwhile. And then obviously the title changed at the end. Now that might have been a bit of a hot shot, but Impact had momentum and had enthusiasm behind it tonight, whereas Raw was, and I hate saying this because we say it so often, but Raw was going through the motions. But again, I'm not sure you can really judge Raw tonight compared to other weeks of Raw.
You can still compare it. I mean, tell me that they didn't have it written and just put different characters in it.
And you can't tell me that Impact was written previously or earlier than today either.
Yeah.
It's TNA.
Oh, it was written and then it was changed and written again.
And it was rewritten for the final time about 6:48 Central.
Yeah. So what happens is basically, why would they even want to write the show? Because they know they have to write a new one.
Right.
They should just keep writing until the end, and they go, "That's what I'm turning in today."
Dave Hero, you're a wrestling promoter, correct?
I try to be.
That's what he
and a kidnapper.
When is the show finalized?
When
10 minutes after you start the show.
No.
When is the show?
When he gets the cash box, he throws it in his truck and he pulls off.
Wait. Hold on. Honestly, if you're on the show, Rashi Brown, normally after intermission, because we know if you're there or not, you know. So
what does that mean?
No, come on, no. You're usually double booked.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know, we don't know where you're going to be on the show. You know,
I'm in demand, like
my point is this.
It changes throughout the whole. It's never done.
That's with any production. It always changes.
There's so many variables in a show that I mean, some guy's sick, hurt himself yesterday, tomorrow.
But in defense of Raw, considering all of the logistics they had to go through to bring everyone in that wasn't in the area, I thought they did a pretty decent job.
Absolutely. Kudos to WWE. And speaking of Raw, let's talk to someone who is at Raw tonight. Let's go out to New Jersey. Will on One. Tell us about your live event experience at WWE Raw and whether or not you're going to go pick up that refund tomorrow. Will, you're live.
All right, guys, how you doing? It actually was a good Raw. I mean, you got to see Undertaker back, which was, you know, he hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania.
Right.
How can you argue that? The one point I want to make about the refund, though, is that they promised a lot of big things for next week, like Bret Hart and The Miz confrontation. That is one of the big reasons I wanted to go, and I didn't get that. So that's like failed
refund
or faulty advertising.
Refund.
And the circumstances, too.
That's not really false advertising. I mean, that's
a natural
act
disaster.
of God, man.
Yeah.
That's not. They didn't do that on purpose.
I agree with that.
So it's not false advertising. That's the exact wrong word to use.
But the paying customer didn't get what they bought.
Correct.
At the end of the day.
Well, but
he's saying that he actually
did
paid
the Cleveland
to see
Cavaliers
Bret Hart
refund all the money when they sat LeBron for the last month? No.
Good point.
I know.
And here's the thing: did they really announce Bret Hart was going to be there?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. Well, because remember he was supposed to say that The Miz and Big Show were the best tag team of all time. Great tag team of all time.
So what you're saying is you bought a ticket for one specific thing on the show.
Oh, no, my girlfriend bought the tickets.
Well, but you said you were going there to see Bret Hart, right?
I made a Bret Hart poster.
Okay, see?
And how years?
You know what? You proved me right. Thank you.
Don't leave the man.
Did you see, okay, R-Truth really isn't dead, is he, Will?
What was that?
R-Truth really isn't dead, is he?
No.
Wait a minute.
Thank you for clearing that up.
So that's.
Well, we on TV saw him get blown up.
No, he did not.
All right, so really, you were not satisfied seeing the SmackDown Superstars over the Raw Superstars tonight. No matter the circumstances, you were not satisfied.
Well, I was satisfied with the comedy routines. Actually, the comedy was better because there was like 3 wrestling matches and like 4 comedy routines. And the comedy was actually better than the wrestling.
It's closer to the product they produce.
True.
But you saw all the top names on SmackDown. You saw Taker, you saw Jericho, Edge, you saw Mysterio, you know, Punk, Triple H was there.
Wasn't a bad show. Well,
no, it wasn't a bad show for the circumstances they had.
Right.
I thought they did great. Honestly, you can't fault a Volkswagen.
Exactly. And offering all of the people there refunds was.
We're going to go for the refund, personally. I mean, that's just me. I don't think I am, and I don't think many people will because they got to go to the box office, and it's 3 hours away.
Exactly.
Everybody lives 3 hours away from the arena?
Well, some people.
It's on an island.
I mean, I'm driving an hour away.
Yeah, it's not easy to get out there from most of the metropolitan areas.
You know, if I was Vince, I'd say, hey, listen, if you want a refund, you got to leave.
I agree with that.
It's been done before. Typically, if a major star can't make a show, not due to a natural catastrophe like we had, of course, with this, they do. It happened here at the Bradley Center once. I think Hogan or the Warrior couldn't make it to a show years upon years ago, and they said
you got to the second match
it right at the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah,
to get your refund. Yeah.
That's been done. I've done it. Yes.
Well, are you going to? Did you DVR Impact?
No, I did not. I don't usually watch Impact.
All right. Well, fair enough. Well, thank you very much for calling in, and hopefully you get home safely from WWE Raw tonight out there in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we're going to go to a very patient Brandon in Chicago who's waiting in the Airtran phone zone. The number you can call to be 3776 or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
He's a GBHS student and he's pretty irresponsible. It's constant
Let's go into the category of you know it's a Tillman show win.
Yeah, you know what? Where's Hillbilly Jim?
Oh, that song's banned.
Where's Fish?
This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN. We're live Monday night, April 19, 2010. WWE Raw versus...
No, there was a time when I'd like to say,
hey, we're 25 days away.
Phone goes, that's what the man named me. 25 days away, that's right. You need to leave me alone. I'm a little stressed out right now. I'm a little...
Well, why don't you give out the website?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think I'll do it. Don't you have an Amazon wish list?
What?
Or, you know, where you're registered?
Yeah, we're registered at Pottery Barn and, like,
so just
Williams
look up,
Sonoma.
Just look up Meathead on Pottery Barn.
Meathead. It'll work.
Linens and things.
Linens and Bed Bath & Beyond and all that other stuff.
All the girly
So all you got to do is send the gift to pwrshow.com.
And as a man, what do you get?
Oh, I'm getting a TV.
Whatever she wants, right?
No, I'm getting a TV. And actually, after we get married, we're getting 2 computers.
Ooh. Well, that's important. And you gotta watch what each other's doing. And she'll have the password to both of them.
Oh,
even one of them. Yeah. Let's go back to the Airtran phone zone. Let's go down to the Windy City. Brandon in Chicago.
Hey, guys, what's up?
What's up?
I wanted to talk about a few things with TNA. First of all, the pay-per-view last night, Lockdown, was probably had to have been their first or second best pay-per-view of the year besides Genesis, because the last two just they weren't.
Well, guess what? There's only been 4, so.
Well, I know there's only been 4, but I'm saying.
So it's their first or second worst. Sorry, I'm just giving you a hard time.
It's their fourth or third worst.
Why are you guys messing with his opinion?
I'm just giving you a hard time.
You know, you're the one who's always saying, in my opinion.
We're sorry.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I was also going to say that tonight's Impact was really good. Kind of weird that they went with RVD getting the title. He's only been there a month.
That's what I said earlier, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things that was cool to see. It was cool to finally see that dream match of RVD versus AJ Styles, but it was just weird that they put the belt on him so quick. And
you know what? It's not that surprising if you think about it. They put the belt on Rhino after a month in, Christian after a month in, Kurt Angle after a month. I mean, that's TNA's, MO. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it shows a lot of how they feel about their own talent.
Yep.
That they don't really trust them to run the company.
And
it's kind of a slap. Well, I mean, Pope's not one of their own guys, but kind of a slap to him that he lost to AJ the night before, and then the next night AJ lost the belt to RVD. You know?
But it's not, because if you think about it, they knew they were going up against a confusing Raw show for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if the casual fans are watching and they know that there's 2 shows going on, and they see a Raw program that they're not used to or they don't like what they're seeing, they're going to flip to TNA. And what do they do when they go to TNA? They first see Jeff Hardy versus RVD, 2 guys they're very familiar with, and then they close the show with RVD and the Confetti being the new champion, another guy they're very familiar with.
Right,
so
Sam Friendly.
TNA did right business tonight. For the first time, they did a great job.
Pretty much,
I agree that it was a smart move for what they did because of Raw being so messed up that it was a really good move to have RVD versus Jeff Hardy and then have RVD versus AJ Styles in the main event. It was just
right as Raw was going on air, by the way. Or they did the right as Raw was going on air.
My only issue is I can almost guarantee you this was not going to happen if the thing in Europe did not happen.
Yeah,
and
would have happened.
Now RVD has a belt, and where do you go? And
yeah, well, and that's what I was just going to ask you guys about is what you guys thought about where it was going to go next. Because I'm getting the feeling that it's going to be a sacrifice. That it's going to be RVD versus AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy versus maybe even Samoa Joe.
Or the Pope. No, Ken Anderson.
Well, it could be Ken Anderson as the fourth guy. Like they did last year, they did the Ultimate Sacrifice match or whatever that was called, where they all put something on the line or whatever. But kind of that kind of matchup would be what I would think that they would do at the next pay-per-view. But I'm thinking RVD is probably going to hold the belt till Slammiversary and then maybe drop the title to either, it's got to be Anderson or Joe.
It won't be Joe. No.
They're pushing Joe pretty hard.
How do you figure? He just came back tonight.
Well, he came back very forcefully. So you got to think they're not. It would be a really bad move for them to bring him back.
They need to explain how he was kidnapped and where he went.
It's wrestling. You can just
need to do that.
pretend like it never happened, and fans will forget about it eventually.
Kind of like, we'll talk about this later, but go ahead.
TNA is the king of, myth storylines where they just don't even explain stuff.
And who was the king before TNA?
WCW.
Probably, yeah.
And what do they have in common? They were all Boy Scouts. No, but yeah.
Yeah, Samoa Joe did come into that match and dominate immediately. I think it was a good return for him. Very good return for him.
It definitely was. Hopefully he can get back to his old ways when he first came in the TNA.
Here's what I'm wondering. Tonight they seem to try to tie up a lot of loose ends. Because you heard Hogan and Bischoff talking about that ranking system that they're going to then launch next week. They brought Samoa Joe back, realized that didn't work. It seemed like they might have been trying to really move in a direction as opposed to just throwing stuff out there to see what's stuck that they've been doing for the last month or so. This has only been going on for a month now. They went live on March 8th up against Raw, and they've changed times. Some would say that was admitting defeat. But I think they were really trying to steer the ship in a different, if not the right direction tonight.
Yeah, I think they did. It seemed when they moved to Monday night, it seemed you guys were talking earlier about how their scripts are like thrown together last minute. And it's very evident when you watch the show because it seems really sloppy sometimes. And it's starting to seem like they're actually starting to build towards the future. Like they have plans for something, which is a good thing because you can't – it's hard to have a believable product to turn into every week when it's just thrown together each week,
And it feels thrown together each week as well.
Yeah.
All right.
The ranking system works out for them, and it brings some new stuff to Impact each week.
Well, thank you very much for that call, Brandon. We want to remind you, PWRshow.com. If you're not there already listening to this show live, it is the site where you can get all the real hot news. They don't make you sign up or pay for the VIP membership like most other sites, and you don't get bombarded by those annoying pop-up ads. PWRshow.com featuring the Champion Forum, all of our shows on demand, and the Shoutbox, which is ever so popular. PWRshow.com. Support us by visiting our website regularly. Also, we just actually uploaded our 600th episode to YouTube.
So the last one that we did, actually, the primetime one with Rashi Brown dressed as Damian Nelson, getting rave reviews.
What do you mean dressed as me?
What the heck are you talking about?
Primetime.
No, that was Damian doing his Incredible Hulk impersonation.
Yeah.
I'm cut. I'm buff.
No, you're not.
Radiation. Don't make him angry.
Buff in his stuff.
He's been stuffing
And by the way, just for a rumor killer, my new contract has X number of dates.
Yeah, that means they've taken dates away from you.
So, that's why I wasn't there.
So when you don't show up at a pay-per-view and end up in somebody's basement?
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's, double the pay. Just got to clear that up.
If you haven't already, bring PWR with you on your iPhone, iPod, or I think even your iPad if you fell for that gimmick. The iTunes application available at pwrshow.com. You can go ahead and click on the link there on the homepage and go ahead and take that with you. Shows first, before anybody else gets them, comes right to your iTunes application. Let's continue in the phone zone and go out to Virginia. CJ.
Hey, what's up?
Hi there.
Yeah, I just want to talk about Raw and Impact tonight. By far, Impact was the better show. But the RVD route, I'm liking it, but I just didn't think it would come that soon, like the last caller said earlier. But I mean, it's just that I can deal with it. I'm a big RVD fan and whatnot, but Raw tonight was just terrible. Similar to that. I mean,
well, it's Raw down.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But the only segment that I found entertaining was when CM Punk, was cutting a promo about New Jersey and how bad New Jersey was. But
I got two words for you. Jersey sucks. Those are the words of CM Punk, ladies and gentlemen.
But other than that, I would like to jump the gun, so to speak, and talk about next year's WrestleMania. I know it's too early for that, but the only opponent, if Taker wrestles next WrestleMania, the only opponent I can see him wrestling, in my opinion, is Goldberg. Who knows better than Goldberg?
That's a great storyline going into it, but there's no end game out of it because Undertaker's going to defeat Goldberg. There is no way Goldberg will defeat the Undertaker.
True. I mean, I just like the setup because it's in Atlanta. That's his hometown. That is WCW country. I mean, there's a rumor about this.
So it's Bob Bagwell. But while I don't think it's going to happen, that's a money match.
Goldberg and Undertaker? Are you insane?
The fans, you know what? No, they've forgotten about Goldberg. They have not forgotten about Goldberg. No, they have not.
I didn't say that anybody forgot about Goldberg. I did. Goldberg Undertaker is not a money match.
No.
That's
in my opinion, it is.
No, there's
William Regal and Goldberg.
That would be a money shoot match.
That's a money match.
Rashi?
Did I stutter?
Rashi and Undertaker? Is there money in
that? You did.
What?
I think the fans would clamor to the Undertaker versus Goldberg.
No.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think they would.
He must have a fever. And it's not on the Undertaker's
side. And I would have forgotten come WrestleMania, so I won't sit here gloating about it, telling everybody how I predicted it.
Rashi and I are going to remember it.
Yeah.
So it's to say it right.
Yeah. Thank you for that call, CJ, out in Virginia. And let's go to Houston, Texas. James, you're live on the Pro Wrestling.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up, James?
Tremendous, James.
Nothing much. To backdoor on the last caller, I actually one of the opponents of The Undertaker will probably face at WrestleMania. You guys see Jack Swagger, maybe?
Be a good way to keep him going up, except for at the end of the match, Swagger goes down.
Why didn't you guys just say Sting? Throw that out there.
I know, man. What the heck?
I mean, the only other opponent that I can see is John Cena, because John Cena and The Undertaker, have they wrestled before?
And John Cena will be the guy that ends Undertaker's streak.
No.
Really?
If it ever happens,
John Cena,
absolutely. If it ever happens, yeah.
I wouldn't like that at all.
John Cena doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't.
Well, did Undertaker need to retire Shawn Michaels?
Shawn Michaels need to retire him.
Did Shawn Michaels need to retire Ric Flair?
Ric Flair didn't want to retire, but the person to retire.
Undertaker will go to the guy that he feels can, take the company, and it'll be John Cena.
And speaking of John Cena, there's still that rumor going around. Do you guys, and I don't agree with this, but do you guys think that there may be a shot for Cena and Rock at SummerSlam?
No. Well, I mean, never ever, but
The Rock will come back at WrestleMania, but not at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that rumor saying that he was coming to host the Raw during the summer or something like
that?
Well,
he said he's been working with WWE, and guest hosting might be one of those things they do. But
and that will be one of the highest-rated Raw guest hosts ever.
Absolutely. Remember, The Rock was in the highest-rated segment in the history of WWE Raw.
With Mick Foley.
Mm-hmm.
This is your life.
The longest 13 minutes of my life.
I mean, I know that The Rock, he's getting paid, quite good amounts of money in film or whatever. But I think if
and it's bump free usually.
Yeah, it's true. He has
usually
take all his bumps. So, and also I think if they pay him the right amount of money, it'll be a money match between him and Cena, and it will get buy rates. I think anyway.
All right. Well, James from down in Houston, thank you very much for calling in.
But if The Rock does come back, they will have to reintroduce him to the new wrestling fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than they did Bret Hart.
Actually, no, they won't.
I don't think so.
Because he has the crossover appeal of a movie star now.
The new Rock's going to be in is actually called The Other Guys. I don't know if you've seen the preview. It's Will Ferrell, Samuel Jackson, Rock, Mark Wahlberg.
But they still have to reintroduce him.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They've seen him in the movies.
What, the Tooth Fairy?
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, there's a movie coming out that's coming out with Sam Jackson.
But for the wrestling fans today,
what fans? What age group?
The PG fans.
Okay, they've seen the Tooth Fairy. They've seen every Disney movie or whatever
but
company.
They still have to reintroduce his history.
No, they don't. They just need him. They don't need his history. They don't need his history.
Wrong.
You're wrong.
We'll see if he does come back. We'll see if they reintroduce him or not.
They don't need to.
They will.
Why don't you explain reintroduction now?
Yeah.
As opposed to when it happens.
Well, no. When it comes back, they'll have the vignettes about how him and Hogan, how he beat DX, just his career as a multi-time world champion.
That's a given, though, man.
That's what I'm saying.
We've asked many times if Bret Hart was still relevant. We asked many times if Hulk Hogan was still relevant. Hulk Hogan, I don't think there's a question. Bret Hart, I still think that the jury's out on that because it was 12, 13 years ago. With The Rock, we're talking 4 or 5 years, 5 or 6 years rather. I think, and same with Goldberg almost.
WrestleMania was 6 years ago.
But you're not listening, Dave. He's still a relevant figure in the planet Earth.
Right, but I'm just saying he doesn't have as many new action figures out as he used to for the kids to understand who he truly is.
Oh, the kids are going to his movies, though.
So then,
not all of them.
So William Shatner, when he hosts Raw, did they do his history?
William Shatner was a one-nighter.
William Shatner was very over as
they're gonna build up for a program with The Rock.
Okay, so Pete Rose.
One night.
Pete Rose!
One night.
How many WrestleManias did he do?
3 in a row.
Did he do 3 in a row?
Okay, so do we need to reintroduce...
But he wasn't in a program. They're not depending on Pete Rose to sell pay-per-views to
Yes, they are. Well, then why do you bring in Pete Rose if he has no monetary value to you?
He was on Raw. Because they wanted the ESPN Sports Center moment.
Oh, God.
I'm right. You just, hey, just tap and let's move on.
As a businessman,
yes,
when you book a wrestler, you book a wrestler that has no value to you?
Well, some guys have no value.
That's a loaded
one. Well, then you may as well cut a
wait, hold on. Roddy Piper was in town over the weekend.
Yeah.
How many interviews did I line up to reintroduce him back to the area?
You're talking about Media Day.
But Roddy Piper isn't on 3 movies a year on Disney being backed by a billion-dollar company. People know who The Rock is from movies more than wrestling.
Right, so that's why you got to reintroduce him to the wrestling fans.
No, you don't.
Let's continue in the phone zone. Let's go to Michigan. Eric, you're live.
Which is not where GLCW was over the weekend.
Eric in Michigan on line 2. Hello.
Hello. I'm here not to mark out on Rashi Brown, but to mark out on Meathead. Actually,
well, God bless you.
Vince Russo wrote that in for me. Sorry, I lied.
Well, now.
My bad. But what is your guys' opinion on the old JR tweeting to Taz, accidentally setting it public, about TNA Creative?
What did he say? I didn't hear that.
Oh, it's on your guys' site, Ethan.
Well, Damien didn't give me the info.
He won't even give us the password.
He wanted to hide exactly for himself. I see how this works around here.
You should see him. He's got this little devilish grin on his face.
Devilish? You
yeah,
because my name's Damien.
Well, it goes with the territory.
Eric and Michigan, thank you for bringing that up. We were going to talk about it. JR said this.
after lockdown. You should feel good for your work tonight. Creative can be tweaked easily. It's easy to ID the players. Poor Mike lacks instincts but tries.
So this is all getting put on Mike today then.
Well, yeah, he's been brutal lately. All he wants you to do is call your friends and tell them TNA's on.
Oh, man. Sometimes my friends call me to tell me that Dave Hero has something great to say.
And they're right.
They're lying. It's usually April 1st, right?
No, it's normally February 12th is when it is.
You know, here's the thing, though. A lot of these people are watching both shows, if they're in the business, watching both shows, and this stuff happens. Hey, bro, how was the show? You talk about it. You send feedback. People have friends in other organizations, whatnot. Obviously, JR and Taz are good friends, and, I think, didn't Jericho get in trouble for this, too? He had put out a tweet to somebody that was supposed to be a direct message, but was not so private.
Told him, yeah. These social networking sites are going to bring down mankind.
Facebook ruins somebody's life every 2 minutes. I guarantee it. Thank you for that call, Eric, out in Michigan. Let's go to...
Wait, do you still want to get those two computers?
I'm getting two of them. Don't worry. I'm actually intelligent.
He's already preparing for the government to seize the first one.
I'm Chris Hansen. Thank you for that call, Eric. Thank you. Thank you for that call, Eric. Wow. Let's go to
Miami. Miami?
No, Tim in Missouri.
Oh, Missouri.
Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey. Tremendous.
Actually, I was at Lockdown last night in the Family Arena.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't help but notice how they said it was a St. Louis street fight, but we were on the wrong side of the river.
So you didn't see anything? Oh, you were. You were in St. Joseph, right?
I'm in St. Charles, Missouri. I live 30 minutes away from the Family Arena.
Okay.
So you're saying it was an East St. Louis street
If
fight?
it were an East St. Louis street fight, people would be dead.
I saw like a video from 2006.
East St. Louis is a rough town.
That hurt when you said that, man.
I got family there. I went to a family reunion there once. Maybe I'll tweet about it one day.
I got gas there once.
Yeah, so did Chevy Chase. He lost all the stuff off his station wagon.
I know and also they did a bad job of explaining where Pac was last night.
Nobody knows, man. When Dave tells us where he is, we will know.
So,
well, you guys didn't find out till Nash spoke live to the house, right?
Yeah, that's the only news we heard is when he got up on top of the ramp. He said Scott Hall won't be alone, and that's the only thing we heard was, wait, where's Pac? And so then you're led to believe, oh yeah, he's just being Six Pac.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because that's not the case at all.
That's not true at all.
Overall, what did you think of the show, Tim?
Pretty much everybody was going crazy for the Angle match, and everybody's going crazy for Anderson. I heard way too many Kennedy chants, and then there was the heated "Let's go AJ, Pope is pimpin" chant that led the entire arena not to pay attention at all to the match. That's just St. Louis fans for you.
Did you participate in Fan Fest at all?
Huh?
Did you participate in the Fan Festival at all? Fan interaction?
No, I did not get to go to that at all.
Okay. All right. Well, Tim, thank you for that. We got for that update on TNA Lockdown from the live perspective last night. We had a live person who was at Raw tonight, a live person who was at Lockdown last night. We just need somebody who was at Impact to call in. Let me call a few people.
Hi, yeah, aren't you the guy that serves the mashed potatoes?
Yeah. Wow. That's one group that does all the food. Come on, give us the program here. Thank you for all the calls here tonight on the Pro Wrestling Report. Some very intriguing conversation going on. So, from here, where do you guys see, and thanks for that call, Tim, from here, where do you guys see WWE going? How are they going to recap this? They got Extreme Rules on pay-per-view on Sunday. They'll have a big build-up with the Raw Stars.
Yeah, they're going to have to put the Raw Stars on SmackDown.
Which is smart, because now it's going to make people tune in to SmackDown.
I don't know if people will tune in.
I know, because they didn't say anything tonight.
They should have. See, now here's the thing. If they felt that the fans were truly getting screwed tonight by not having the Raw Stars, They should have been promoting it. We'll tune in on SmackDown and see him there.
Or, hey, check out NXT.
No.
They did do a commercial for NXT, but that was no different than any other Raw.
They're not going to promote NXT like that when they got a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday.
No. And that was why I think it was important that they felt they have Cena and Sheamus on the show with those pre-tapes.
He's a big deal, isn't he, now?
All right, let's go down the list.
Of?
Dave, your predictions / I think I'm better.
I'm done.
Well, you'll
never be right again?
I never said I think I'm better.
on.
I just said it'll prove itself right. That's all I ever said.
You just throw it out there. You throw it out there and...
No, they're developing him into a character now.
Why?
Because they need to. They need more young stars, and they're doing it. They're giving him time. They're investing money and time into Sheamus.
Why?
Because he's Triple H.
As you said earlier,
why not?
Thank you. That's
what's wrong
why.
with that?
Well, it's easy to predict something when you know that the dude's got.
We didn't know that when he won that battle royal.
Yes, you did. Stop it.
You know what, Rashi? I gotta say, I Sheamus was brand spanking new. It was before he won the title. It was right after he got drafted to Raw.
It was the night he won that battle royal. I says he'll beat John Cena at the pay-per-view.
Because that's when you already knew he was hanging out with Triple.
That wasn't announced until a couple weeks later.
Announced by who? I thought you were an insider.
Yeah, I know.
Where did you hear
I'm
this
an insider.
announcement? Huh?
From people in the know.
Whatever, man.
Because I know stuff.
We've known. Stop. We've known before you hit TV, so stop. Stop it.
Rashi, where does TNA go from here with RVD as the champion?
Man, I don't know. If it was me running that company and that was the match that they wanted to grab a little bit of the other audience, they'd say, oh, we got Rob Van Dam, y'all, let's watch this. And he's wrestling his dude AJ Styles. Well, that's when Ric Flair, Ric Flair just came out there and screwed Rob Van Dam. And now he's still the champ. Now you tune in next week to see what happens. And then you have them for 2 weeks instead of 1 week. I don't know. That's the way I would have taken it.
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Sounds like two cats in an alleyway.
What the hell was that?
I just told you, two cats in an alleyway.
Why are you in alleyways listening to cats get it on?
Well, that was when I was walking through East St. Louis.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report. We're in the final stretch here, live Monday night, April 19, 2010. Hey, make sure you check out pwrshow.com for our broadcast day and time next week. We're going to be
next week.
juggling around between the Brewers schedule and our regular broadcast times. So if we're not on Mondays, typically we're going to be on Wednesday nights. And again, you can get all that information at pwrshow.com. Hot show next week, of course, David Hero, as you said, because we will be reviewing in its entirety WWE Extreme Rules on pay-per-view. Yeah, this Friday, it's a brand new edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Dave, you're back in the co-captain's chair.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what his. I don't know how many dates are left.
He doesn't know over. He doesn't know what his appearance is.
I'm over like a sunset flip, baby.
But see, you keep it special because Rashi's one of the voices of PWR Radio, and
you know what? I wanted to give him a shot.
Wow. And speaking over real quick, I know we're on a sports radio station as well. Anybody see Greg Zong yesterday do the big back body drop walking the plate? No?
No.
Up the shoulder, took the guy up over.
Oh, you were able to watch that, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, it was
not
highlight.
been, having wedding plans at that time.
It was a highlight. I caught it on the move.
It was in between being whipped.
Oh, come on.
Nick Hawson, the atmosphere of PWRshow.com says, TNA needs a McMahon type, a guy who is final say and his only concern is to himself and his company.
Yep.
And we've been saying that for a while. TNA doesn't have a final voice that will do what has to be done for business regardless of who likes it.
Yeah, well, my main man, Mike Platt, just says I should come up with Miss Cleo and take over the world.
I think he's 50. Isn't Mysterio in jail?
I don't know.
Yeah, you might want to reconsider.
Hey, when they find out what happened to X-Pac, Dave will be in jail also.
News. How about Lillian Garcia returning to Raw tonight? And them really not making a big deal out of it.
That's how much they had to scramble.
Well, she was out in the New York area. Out there, it was cool.
She's in a New York state of mind.
Entire state of mind. Special thanks to our guest, Austin Aries, coming on tonight. Remember, ROHWrestling.com for information on those.
Who are you
actually? You're gonna, yeah.
I am teaming up with Necro Butcher. We'll be taking on.
Will you be wearing wrestling boots?
Sean Davari, and yes, and one other member of the embassy.
Are you taking a fork to the eye?
I'm with Necro.
With him.
I'll be throwing.
Necro's a goofy dude. I mean, I like him, but he may.
Hey, Necro just left town this morning.
Yeah, I like him.
I
but
love
I'm telling
him.
you, you may end up with a fork too.
He is goofy.
I didn't lie.
No, but he can say it. But you really call him goofy? Do you know him?
Don't know.
Have you had lunch with him?
Are you hot? Are you hot about it?
Let's introduce them. I think we should.
Yeah. The Pro Wrestling Report Interactive Marathon continues at PWRShow.com. A brand new episode on Wednesday.
With Linda Kay or no?
Well, absolutely with Linda Kay.
Linda Kay.
At PWRShow.com, and you can catch that on demand. This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.